What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 174. And we start today's episode off by taking a look at who won the Player of the Year this season, or this calendar year I should say, and it was Kylian Mbappe of Paris Saint-Germain, 27 years old and now 95 rated in the game, the highest overall player in the game right now. And you know, I must admit, I don't show the Player of the Year really at all in my career modes, because I don't know if I'm right in thinking this, but I think it's given every single year to the player that has the highest overall rating, I think. Now, I might be wrong, and feel free to correct me if I am wrong, but I think I might be right in that. It's always given to the player that has the highest rating in the game, which again makes it kind of pointless really if that is the case. It might not be, but put it this way, you know, Ivan Toney has been without doubt the most consistent goal scorer in world football over the past 5 seasons, and he's never won it once, including 40 goal season at Sheffield United, that extraordinary year at Rome where he had 39 goals and I think it was 24 assists on our way to winning the domestic double. He's never come close to winning a Player of the Year, it seems. God knows why. Based on his goal to game ratio, he'll be regarded as one of the best players in world football, but the game doesn't seem to recognise it. Still, for the first of 3 games in today's episode, it is back to matters in the Bundesliga on the back of our goalless draw away against Monaco in the last game, in the last episode, to secure our progress into the knockout stages of the Champions League, as we would take on Mainz here away from home at the Opel Arena. And Oliver Shaw, yes, it's his first goal in the Bundesliga this season. It's his second goal since joining by Leverkusen, and you see what it means to me as well on the sideline. Shaw last season scored his first 2 goals in professional football with Atletico Madrid against Sevilla. Then he got one in the Cup, I believe. No, not the Cup. He got one in another league game from the spot, scoring 3 goals last season. And this season, of course, he scored our first ever goal with Bayer Leverkusen in the Super Cup, and now he's got his first goal in the Bundesliga as well. Buzzing to see this. Shaw is having a great year this year as he makes it 1-0 to Leverkusen. But Mainz would find their leveller in the 33rd minute as they sliced me open here like a hot knife through butter. Going down the right, playing the ball across the 6-yard area, and from close range, it's a bit of a tap-in, an easy goal as Mainz expose our weakness in the back three. And I must say, you know, this season I have struggled defensively quite a lot in several games, and this was one of them. Mainz find their leveller, and just before the break, well, he's having a tough debut year at the Bayer Arena. Emmanuel Ayer, who last season went down with the ACL in January. It's coming up to a calendar year since the anniversary of that long-term injury. He struggled this year, Ayer. I'll be the first to admit it. You could say he was at fault for the first goal, losing his marker as the ball's turning from close range. And for this goal here, he gives away the penalty as Mainz win a spot kick. It was an accidental collision, but it's a penalty regardless. I had no complaints about it. That's already the second penalty Ayer has conceded this season. Think of that. He's already conceded 2 penalties this season. He's having a tough debut year at the Bayer Arena, and whilst the Blades boys have been amazing, Ayer this season has been very poor. Maybe he's still struggling to come back from that long-term ACL injury. Who knows? But it's like McBurney back in Season 1 with Sheffield United when he got that ACL. It took McBurney time to recover. Perhaps that's the case with Ayer as well. He's come off that serious ACL. He's not recovered fully, and he's really struggling. So Mainz turned the game on its head as Kelechi Iheanacho, one of the top scorers of the season this year, makes it 2-1 from the spot, and they have their goal to get in front. So in the second half, we needed to respond. We couldn't afford our second loss of the Bundesliga season. We needed at least a draw. And Barry Walsh, who was quite quiet in the first half, who's been our best player this season, I need him to step up in the second half. He assisted the goal as Ivan Toney made it 2-2 and got us back on level terms. And with 15 minutes to go, Walsh turns his man, rolls it through to Kai, and gets the second assist of the second half. And after a quiet first half, I said, Barry, you were the 3rd man option at Bramwell Lane, you were the 3rd man option at Atletico Madrid, but here at the Bayer Arena, you've been our star this season. Pick it up, mate. I need you to turn this game on its head, and he does just that in the second half. Sets up Toney, and then with 15 minutes to go, sets up Kai, the captain, with a lovely through ball. And as Havertz is going through here, I'll be honest, guys, I was so goddamn nervous after a great first touch. I was thinking I probably won't get a better chance. I probably won't get a single chance in the final 15 minutes. Got to take this one, and I did. Smacked it into the far corner, sorry, the near corner even. As Kai scores the game winner as we get the 3 points. by 3-2. And just call us the comeback kings right now as well, because if you remember in the game against Bayern Munich, we were 2 goals down and we battled back to draw it 2-2. Against Wolfsburg a couple episodes ago, we were a goal down and we won it 2-1 courtesy of Wolf scoring 2 goals. And in that game against Mainz, 2-1 down, but we turned the game on its head and win it 3-2. Barry and Kai were superb in that second half. So call us the comeback kings, baby. We don't know when to give up, and that's what we're going to need to be like all season long, because we are still outside the top 4. So we'll need to come back if we're to qualify for the Champions League next season. So great show of resilience there, not for the first time this season, as we get the 3 points away at the Opel Arena. And for the second of 3 games in today's episode, this one falling in midweek as we return to the Bayer Arena as we will take on Kiel in the DFB Pokal round of 16. And I believe this side are a second tier German club. So heading into the game, I made 9 changes from my normal first 11. The only 2 players who would start this game from our regular starting 11 were Leon Bailey and Emmanuel Ayer. I thought these 2 needed some confidence really, playing against lesser and weaker opposition, because they've both been pretty poor this season. Bailey's barely got involved in any of our goals this season. I've really struggled using him, and of course, as we know, Ayer this season has been probably our weakest player in the starting 11. So I thought I'd give these guys confidence here against a team we should be beating pretty comfortably. We were leading by a goal. It was the Steve Zabala show in the first half. He should have had a first half hat-trick. Had my finishing been better, he would have done so. But in the 41st minute, this was good to see. Move started off by Emmanuel Ayer, move finished by Federico Chiesa, goal orchestrated by Leon Bailey. The 2 players this season I've been most disappointed about, Bailey and Ayer, both getting involved in the build-up for our second goal as Chiesa makes it 2-0. And again, that's why I opted to start these 2 players in this game as well. When I notice that players are low on confidence, or I've got low confidence using players, I often give them game time in a game where we expect to win convincingly too, just to hopefully get the 3 points or the victory in this game against a weaker team and see them perform better. And they certainly were performing better here. Ayer was a rock at the back, exactly what we needed here. We didn't have too much to do during the game, to be honest, against the second tier German side, and Bailey was playing well too. But the man of the match in this game was, unsurprisingly, Steve Zabala. Kurzweg rolls him through here with 20 minutes to go, and oh, Stevie, boy, that was absolutely glorious there. Chips it over the goalkeeper. I don't chip the ball as much as I used to. You know, in the earlier seasons with Sheffield United in particular, I scored quite a few goals through chip shots. I don't find them as accurate as they used to be. I'm not sure if they've been toned down in the patch or not, or maybe my finishing is just not as good. But that was a wonderful little goal there as he makes it 3-0, and the result is in the bag. So through to the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal, and as you can see, hear the theme song in the background as well. Following the game, we would check the draw for the Champions League, where in the round of 16, Leverkusen have got Athletic Bilbao in the round of 16. Do you know what's really funny as well? When this draw was made here, I didn't get notified of it, and there was no news article either about it, so I had to do it the old-fashioned way by going to the standings. But when I saw that we got Bilbao, I actually stopped on this screen. I was like, oh, we've got our former team. We've got Atletico Madrid in the last 16. And I was like, hang on a minute, how is that the case? Because surely we should be taking on a side that finished second in their group and Madrid topped their group. And then I realised that actually it was Athletic Bilbao and not Atletico Madrid. As you see, we've also got Freiburg in the quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal as well. So yeah, initially, I thought we'd been drawn against Atletico Madrid. I was like, I can't believe it. We're facing a former Carimo team again. Last year it was Roma. Now we've got Atletico Madrid. But no, it's Athletic Bilbao in the last 16 as we will travel to the Basque region for the first leg, which comes just a few days after a very big game against Schalke, and the second leg comes just a few days before a huge game at home to Wolfsburg as well. So both ties have got a big game before and after it, and you saw where the Freiburg game falls. Well, that's the start of February too. So yeah, that's going to be quite a tough title one. I think you probably would put us as favourites after our very good group campaign, winning 4 games out of 6 and finishing the group undefeated and top of the group. I would say we are favourites for the tie, but I think it'll be quite tough to get through that. And as we know, last season Bayer Leverkusen were the Europa League winners after they were knocked out in the group stage of the Champions League. This season, they're asking for a place in the semi-final. That's my target as well. So got to make it through the tie. It won't be easy, but I think we probably will still be favourites for that round of 16 clash. Still, for our third and final game of today's episode here, we would remain at the Bayer Arena, but take matters back to the Bundesliga as we would take on Werder Bremen, who right now sit just above the final relegation spot, which of course in the Bundesliga is actually a relegation playoff. And as you saw before the game, Werder Bremen have got the weakest away record in the division, with just 3 points picked up so far. But whilst we did take the lead for Ivan Toney, it only took them 7 minutes to get back on level terms, as the team right now sat in 17th place, found their leveller and made it 1-1. But whilst they had got that equalising goal, for the most part it was all by Leverkusen in the first half, and really we should have been leading by 2 or 3 goals heading into the break. It was still 1-1, but a golden chance fell here just before half time for us to restore our lead, and it was Diego who got the goal as we went down the right hand side, played it into him, and Diego smacks it in and does the Chris Basham celebration. Second time we've seen that this season, hasn't seen it in years, and now we've done it twice in the same season. I'm so bad at celebrations, but yeah, 2-1, Leverkusen in front, and Diego adds a goal to his assist as well. Whilst Werder Bremen right now do sit in 17th and have the worst away record in the division, they weren't put off or intimidated by that. They were playing some good football and creating some really good chances. Another one falling there from a set piece, as that header was well saved by Lunin and turned behind for a corner, and they had more of the ball in this game as well, as we were still in front by a goal. So I felt we needed a third goal to settle the nerves. We were looking a better team, but Werder Bremen was showing signs of promise that they could battle back once again to draw back on level terms. And 9 minutes after the restart, oh man, oh man, oh man. 2 goals in 2 games for our number 3, Ollie Shaw. He's done it again, 3rd goal of this season, and it is so good to see this. He's developing a finish, and that's what we need of Shaw as well. Now he plays left mid in this team and not left back. We need him to be more, more involved in our goals, both scoring and setting them up, and he certainly has been this season. 3rd goal this season in all competitions, as we wrap up the points there and win the game by 3 goals to 1. So 3-1 the final score, but despite the win and despite no losses in 14 games in the Bundesliga, we still sit outside the top 4. I just can't break into it. It's impenetrable right now, but we're only 2 points behind RB Leipzig, still 18 games to go, lots of the season still remaining. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, if you did enjoy today's episode, please drop a like. Much love to you all, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.